I grew up in a household with two Catholic parents. Unfortunately, going to church on a Sunday always felt like a burden for me. Reading the Bible was something I had done only during my childhood, and it was the easy version of the Bible. You know, the one with lots of images for kids. I had some notion of Christianity and who Jesus was, but no real understanding of the message of the Bible. And frankly, it was just too religious for me, and I always considered myself more of a spiritual person. From a young age, I was interested in the paranormal side of the world. I just loved watching documentaries about ghosts and spirits. I also loved watching popular TV shows that featured magic, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch or the movie Hocus Pocus. Next on my list were near-death experiences. I remember having picked up a book in college about near-death experience survivors that had completely fascinated me. I have to say, my understanding of the unseen world started rather early for a teenager, but I wasn't alone. I remember sitting next to a girl in arts and crafts class in high school who would share with me that she saw a ghost in her room almost every night. It's these events that marked my early development, and so I had confirmation that there was an unseen reality all around us. A lot of my journey throughout college and university had me searching, reading, and studying every single religion but Christianity. I dived into Buddhism, Hinduism, Scientology, Wicca, yoga, and of course the popular New Age that is so widely marketed today. I really didn't like the idea of religion, but I preferred the idea of spirituality. One fact is certain. I wanted to get away from anything that had to do with Christianity, because my understanding of it was too religious and traditional, at least from what I remember from my Catholic days as a child. The spirituality that was most attractive to me was of course the New Age and everything that went with it. I'm sure that you have heard of it, but just in case you haven't, let me go briefly over what it is. It's a range of spiritual and religious beliefs that have started in the 1970s, but that have been repackaged and marketed all over again as this new love and light movement. The current world made a great deal of marketing it, and I naturally fell in love with it. Who wouldn't? The activities that are found in this movement are yoga, crystal healing, Reiki healing, guided meditations, group meditations, astrology, numerology, birth chart reading, fortune telling, practicing the law of attraction, packaged into the famous book The Secret, or tuning into the power of the goddess, also known as the divine feminine, participating in kikyo or shamanic ceremonies, participating in sound baths, communicating with spirit guides, hanging dream catchers or using them for rituals, observing moon rituals, trying out the Hawaiian ritual Oponopono, and the use of mandalas as spiritual guidance tools. So it turns out that I wasn't getting enlightened. Instead, I was getting more and more lost. Depression and anxiety were now a big part of my life. And none of my gurus had the right answers for me. We tried Reiki treatments and meditation sessions, but they only seemed to provide temporary relief and were soon to be followed by more tears and pain in my life. It took a miracle for me to realize what I had actually involved myself in for all these years. It wasn't love and light like I was told. It was darkness. And the New Age was a well-orchestrated deception that sucked me and others easily into the world of the occult and black magic. And you're entitled to your own opinion. Maybe you are thinking that I took it too far and this doesn't directly affect you because all you do is attend yoga class for exercise once or twice a week. And maybe there's a dream catcher hanging on your keychain. Or sometimes maybe you'll catch yourself saying that the universe has provided for you. But you're not a New Age thinker, right? And then you pull out your color book with mandalas. Do you see how it all ties in together? I was just a regular individual like you, doing regular things that the world was telling me to do. And before I knew it, I was attending shamanic ceremonies, sleeping in yoga ashrams, and to the sound of sound baths that would later open spiritual portals for demonic oppression and sleep paralysis in my life. If you don't know what these are, they are negative spiritual consequences that happen to you when you open doors that are otherwise forbidden. Some spiritual doors were never meant to be opened by humans. The New Age movement is aggressively marketed today in our modern world, but most of the world is completely blind to it and its problems. But it only takes a walk down your street to see that almost every corner includes a yoga studio. Once a member of a yoga studio, you are easily sucked into the world of incense, healing crystals, New Age books, and so on. From there, it's so easy to fall into witchcraft without even noticing or believing that you are partaking in magical rituals. But in 2017, something happened in my life. First, I took the decision to move out on my own and change certain toxic circumstances in my life. As you already know, I was deep into the New Age, and I often referred to the universe as God. But before moving out, instead of addressing the universe, I recall saying a Christian prayer to God that I had learned during my childhood as a Catholic. It was the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. I also addressed Jesus directly to surrender my life to, as per the suggestion of a coworker. Despite my New Age beliefs, I was desperate enough to be open to trying this. Since that day, it only took a few months before I had a moment of complete conversion to Christianity. One day, I was alone in my apartment and I was watching a video of a Catholic priest explaining that demons will never submit to any other name but the name of Jesus. I have no idea how I fell on that particular video about exorcisms, but it was there. I was then led to a conversion story of a former Satanist and finally the conversion story of a known New Age blogger. That day has marked me forever. I realized what I had involved myself in for all these years. I immediately understood that I had to quit everything I was involved in, and unfortunately also had to leave behind my circle of friends that were all involved in witchcraft, shamanism, yoga, meditation, and all New Age philosophy. It was a conviction of my heart. Nobody forced me to do this. I knew the truth was found in Jesus Christ, and I no longer desired my previous lifestyle. I found the strength to do this, and I spent my summer alone reading a Bible that I got from a coworker who has been praying for me all along. I owe her prayers a lot, as she knows exactly what kind of lifestyle I was leading during all these years. I spent 2 years growing as a born-again or Protestant Christian, until the Lord led me back to the Catholic Church again. It was through a fast and honest seeking that He showed me the miracles of the Eucharist or His real presence. As a Protestant, I didn't know that this teaching has been present for the first 1500 years in church history. Once again, I felt like I was asked to leave all of my friends and theology behind in order to truly follow Him. But the rewards have been incredible. So here I am, a former free spirit who was completely against religion, living a life according to the teachings of the Roman Catholic Church. Sometimes I don't even recognize myself when I look in the mirror, but then I am reminded that I was born Catholic. This was always my home. And just like in the parable of the prodigal son, this is my return to the Father.